Pakistan is set to procure 40 J-35 fighter jets and other advanced equipment, have Huawei train 100,000 IT professionals, comprehensively strengthen cooperation with Saudi Arabia, integrate Afghanistan into the China-Pakistan economic corridor, and significantly boost trade with Iran. This time, Pakistan is truly on the verge of takeoff. Recently, the Pakistani government announced on social media its plan to purchase 40 J-35 stealth fighter jets, along with KJ-500 early warning aircraft and HQ-19 air defense systems. Many have questioned the news' authenticity, as fifth-generation fighter jets could profoundly disrupt regional power balance. Without official confirmation from China, the validity of the information remains uncertain. However, the current landscape presents a rare window for Pakistan's rise, and an opportune moment for China and Pakistan to solidify their alliance while deepening strategic initiatives across the Middle East and South Asia. Thus, the prospect of J-35s entering Pakistan's arsenal appears increasingly plausible. Why do we say that? In the India-Pakistan air battle on May 7, Pakistan heavily defeated the Indian military with Chinese-made equipment, shocking the world. Pakistan has impressed others with a new look, while Chinese equipment has gained fame in one battle. It was originally thought that such a crushing victory would be enough to deter India and ease the situation. Unexpectedly, India turned its battlefield defeat into a public opinion victory. It not only continued to block water sources, but also threatened to reignite the war. And even high-profile launched a fifth-generation aircraft project. Judging from India's stance, it seems very unconvinced and wants to confront Pakistan to the end by playing dirty. Obviously, a ceasefire agreement has been reached between India and Pakistan, but the problem has not been solved. This shows that there must be a big hand behind the scenes that quickly forced the conflict situation to be contained. Objectively speaking, the hatred between India and Pakistan has lasted for decades, and it is impossible for the contradictions to be resolved by a ceasefire agreement alone. However, the problem is that the current situation is not suitable for either India or Pakistan to continue fighting, especially for Pakistan, whose own problems may be more serious than those of India. Before the outbreak of the current India-Pakistan conflict, Pakistan was facing the most severe political, economic, and social crises in recent years. According to data from the Pakistan Bureau of Statistics, the country's average inflation rate dropped to 1.5% in February 2025, the lowest level in a decade. This performance indicates that the Pakistani government's efforts to stabilize the economy have shown some effectiveness. However, the deep-seated contradictions in Pakistan's economy have become increasingly severe. On the one hand, the trade deficit is continuously expanding. In February 2025, the trade deficit surged by 33% year-on-year to $2.3 billion, with exports dropping by 5.6% and industrial output continuing to shrink, contracting by 1.87% year-on-year compared to the second half of 2024. On the other hand, Pakistan's external debt has reached $130.4 billion, accounting for 32% of its GDP. It needs to repay $16.4 billion in debt at the beginning of 2025, while its foreign exchange reserves stand at $3.09 billion, only enough to support half a month of imports. At the same time, Pakistan is also facing issues such as power shortages, backward agricultural technology, rising unemployment, and expanding wealth gaps. In addition, the development of Pakistan is constrained by the increasingly severe security situation, with threats from three major separatist organizations intensifying. The Pakistani Taliban has carried out multiple attacks in recent years, attempting to disrupt the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, CPEC, attack Chinese projects and Pakistani government facilities, and threaten the safety of energy corridors. In early 2025, the Islamic State Khorasan Province, ISK, attempted to orchestrate a series of bombings in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, exploiting political instability to expand infiltration. The deterioration of the security situation has directly hindered foreign capital inflows, causing the CPEC projects to be suspended multiple times and exacerbating energy shortages. This has also sparked public skepticism about the government's counterterrorism capabilities. Worse still, the current government's legitimacy is under dispute. Supporters of former Prime Minister Imran Khan have accused electoral fraud, and large-scale protests continue to fester, eroding government authority. Prime Minister Shahbaz's economic reforms face multiple hurdles, entrenched clan politics, military influence, opposition checks, and the survival crisis of grassroots populations, all urgent issues demanding the Pakistani government's immediate attention. Against this backdrop of interwoven risks and contradictions, an escalation of the India-Pakistan conflict could prove the straw that breaks Pakistan's economic camel, triggering a systemic crisis. But this does not mean that Pakistan has reached a dead end. The China-Pakistan relationship is not only a stabilizing pillar for Pakistan but also a hope for its rise against the trend. Prime Minister Shahbaz has explicitly designated the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, CPEC, as an economic lifeline and strategic security network. Contributing 6% to Pakistan's GDP and creating 500,000 jobs, CPEC has become a key variable for stability. The air battle victory on May 7 is set to expand the influence of this variable, making it an important driving force for Pakistan's rise. As we all know, the world has always followed the law of the jungle where the weak are prey to the strong. Military might remains the primary force determining international status and safeguarding national security and stability. By initiatively provoking disputes this time, India aimed to use the victory of a border war to secure more favorable conditions in international affairs. However, this move ultimately bolstered Pakistan, directly reversing its disadvantaged position in the India-Pakistan dispute. And the influence of this change is continuing to expand. First, it has brought about geopolitical security stability. Previously, in addition to its conflicts with neighboring India, Pakistan also had long-standing tensions with Afghanistan and Iran. There were disputes between the two sides over the control of cross-border terrorist organizations. On the Afghan side, the Taliban regime needs economic investment to cope with Western sanctions and reduced global aid. Pakistan, plagued by the turmoil of the Pakistani Taliban, is eager to stabilize its volatile western border. Therefore, the two sides have decided to join hands to solve problems and break out of their predicament. In May this year, at a meeting held in Beijing, Afghanistan and Pakistan agreed to upgrade their bilateral relations to ambassadorial level, and Afghanistan was invited to join the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, CPEC. It is worth noting that in recent months, India has attempted to woo Afghanistan, but Afghanistan regards China as a more important trading partner. Previously, didn't I produce a report on Afghanistan unilaterally building a road to China's border? The Afghan authorities expect Chinese investment in infrastructure and industrial parks to create more jobs. Joining CPEC can also enable Afghanistan to become a trade hub connecting Central Asia and radiating Europe. For Pakistan, this change is also a rare opportunity. This not only enhances its regional influence but also helps contain the Pakistani Taliban forces along the northwestern border. In addition to Afghanistan, Iran's behavior before and after the India-Pakistan conflict has also been entirely different. Although both countries are Islamic states, Pakistan, like Saudi Arabia, belongs to the Sunni sect, so there have always been frictions between the two countries on border issues. For example, Iran has accused Pakistan of conniving at the Sunni armed group Jaish al-Adl, while Pakistan has accused Iran of supporting the Baloch separatist forces. In the early stage of the India-Pakistan conflict, Iran placed its bets on India and even signed a comprehensive strategic cooperation agreement with India, obviously intending to strengthen cooperation with India to form a pincer attack against Pakistan. Unexpectedly, Pakistan won the victory, which not only consolidated its status in the Muslim world but also further strengthened its strategic cooperation with China. This put Iran in an awkward position, originally siding with India to check and balance Pakistan, but ended up making itself more geographically isolated. The Chinese factor behind Pakistan also makes Iran have to re-examine its relations with Pakistan. Therefore, Khamenei has issued dozens of tweets in a row to highly praise Pakistan. And Pakistan is well aware of this, directly stating that it will continue to increase bilateral trade volume, implying that it will purchase more oil from Iran in the future, though it expects Iran to cooperate more on the Balochistan issue. Resolving the two major destabilizing factors in the north and south is undoubtedly a huge step forward for Pakistan. Social stability itself serves as the fundamental prerequisite for economic development, so Pakistan must seize this rare opportunity. Pakistani Prime Minister Shahbaz visited Saudi Arabia, a long-standing ironclad ally. During this visit, the two countries emphasized strengthening cooperation in key areas such as trade, investment, and regional peace and security. In the past, Pakistan has long been a vital pillar for Sunni Muslim countries in the Middle East to maintain regional security. The victory in the India-Pakistan air battle has once again highlighted its strategic value. A Pakistan armed with nuclear weapons and a robust air force, backed by China, is undoubtedly a presence that no country in the Middle East can afford to ignore. Evidently, Pakistan now has the strength to assume the role of a regional leader and shoulder more responsibilities in regional security affairs. Its only shortcoming lies in economic issues. Pakistan not only needs China's assistance but also the support of its wealthy Middle Eastern allies. This is why Saudi Arabia has pledged to increase investment in Pakistan. In terms of development, Pakistan has decided to prioritize digital transformation. In January this year, Huawei and Pakistan's Telecommunication Authority formally signed a comprehensive cooperation agreement dedicated to enhancing Pakistan's technological capabilities in fields such as 5G and artificial intelligence. Shahbaz also mentioned in a tweet that Huawei will help Pakistan train 100,000 IT technical personnel. And these will become an important force behind Pakistan's rise. Currently, Pakistan is addressing its energy issues, with one of the most significant initiatives being the water conservancy and hydropower facilities constructed by China in the country. These facilities are all built to modern standards and require high-quality talent for management and maintenance. Additionally, Pakistan will vigorously develop mineral resources, upgrade agricultural technology, and accelerate infrastructure construction, all of which also depend on the support of technical professionals. From the above, it is not difficult to see that before the India-Pakistan conflict, Pakistan was facing a dilemma of internal troubles and external threats. After the victory in the conflict, the entire situation has undergone tremendous changes, with the most notable being the improvement in social stability brought about by shifts in geopolitical relations. Meanwhile, there are also many development opportunities. However, India, which has suffered a major defeat, is unwilling to accept the status quo. Not only has it not made concessions on the water issue so far, but it has also frequently issued provocative remarks against Pakistan. In this case, introducing the J-35 into Pakistan is a good choice. Many people believe that the J-35 will disrupt the regional balance, but in my view, it will instead make India calm down and dare not continue to provoke incidents. Moreover, India needs to find forces to counter the J-35, which will take at least a decade. With these 10 years of stability, Pakistan can focus on economic development. In addition, after the J-35 enters Pakistan, its influence can cover the entire Middle East, especially the U.S. military in the Middle East. If the Russia-Ukraine conflict ends, the United States will next focus on managing the Middle East and the Asia-Pacific. The U.S. military in the Asia-Pacific cannot cause any major disturbances, but the Middle East is different. The U.S. military has a deep foundation here. And there is also the existence of Squid as an unstable factor. They may all create new turmoil, which is extremely likely to affect China's interests in the region. Then, China certainly also needs a force that can maintain regional security and stability, and Pakistan is undoubtedly the most suitable choice. The J-35 is precisely a presence that can suppress the F-35. If combined with the KJ-500 airborne early warning aircraft and the Hongqi-19 air defense system, the combat power of the Pakistani Air Force will be almost invincible in South Asia and the Middle East. Such high-end combat power will naturally bring new stability and balance.